Peace, peace, peace. I just had a quick thought real quick. Now walk with me. Another reason why I think that it's so important that we, particularly as black men, read is because I think that we are raised in a way of thinking and things very two-dimensional. And I'll explain. I think because of America's obsession with sports, a lot of us as boys were taught things in a way that always related back to sports, whether it be sports analogies. Sports figures are so idolized that they are looked at as heroes and gods. So we are told to follow them and pull inspiration from them to the point that that kind of takes over our thinking. And I'll explain that. In terms of we're taught things in a very black and white way, as akin to sports, as there's a winner and a loser. There's no context at all. And a game ends, somebody wins, somebody loses, right? And there's no nuance at all. And we're taught in a way that we idolize sports figures so much that we take that thinking into reality. And in reality, we understand it's so much more nuanced and it demands for context to be understood that the way that we think in a two-dimensional way does not work. And I'll explain that again as well. We start to take these sports figures' ideologies and take those from the court or field and take those off of the playing field and take them to reality, into where we think that the ends always justify the means. And we look at things in a way of what would Jordan and Kobe do in a reality. That doesn't work, right? Because we understand Michael Jordan was punching teammates, and that just doesn't work in reality. And so we can start to lose some of our morals and our demand for morality when we think of things in a two-dimensional context, and we take that into our personal life. We think, if we hurt 100 women, it's okay as long as we marry one in the end. Those 100 women that were hurt is all of a sudden justified, but that only is a way of thinking in an ends justify the means type of way. These 100 women, and I don't only mean sexually. I don't want anybody to start, immediately going to the gutter with this. I'm talking in platonic ways as well, all through growing up. And we just think that those 100 women just got to figure that out and they got to get over it, and they have to take pleasure in the fact that you're not doing that anymore. When in reality, those 100 women were still hurt, right? And that still demands for some reckoning. And then in a professional way, in a corporate way, we start to think that as long as we get that promotion, everything else that we did to get that was justified. Whoever we threw under the bus is okay. If we ignored family members, it's fine. As long as we get that promotion in the end, we get the reward. Whether that be the proverbial trophy as a higher paying job, better salary, better office space, sometimes just a better parking space. And that's not reality, right? Morals are always demanded in reality. There's not only a winner and loser in reality, there's always context. And books can provide that way of thinking where you can allow for context and nuance to be in your mode of thinking, in your point of view. I think books can really give the mind that other dimension that it lacks in mainstream societal teaching. I think that books is the only way we can get that. You understand what I'm saying? So in a professional way, I think as growing up, when our mind is building and growing, we have to introduce books to our psyche so that we can think of things in a critical lens and a nuanced lens as well, so that we can think of things a little deeper, so that when we grow up, we can do that as well. That's just my opinion. I don't know, I'm just blabbling. Peace. Tell me what y'all think.